Hello everyone. I can hardly believe I'm saying this already, but yes, snowflakes are flying, not just up north. This system is diving deep south. I'm talking snow stretching all the way through the Carolinas into Tennessee, and possibly even brushing parts of Alabama and Georgia. You've heard that right? We're seeing festive flakes drifting this far south, this early in the season. For some, it'll be a beautiful sight, a fleeting decoration in the air. But for others, it's the real deal. Heavy snowbands capable of dropping a foot or more across portions of the Great Lakes and upper Midwest. Let's break it all down together because this setup is fascinating and honestly, a little wild for early November. All right, let's dive in. Here's what's really unfolding out there. The latest American model run shows a massive surge of Arctic air plunging southward. You can literally see it spreading across the map. Low pressure forming, snow already falling through parts of the Midwest, and an enormous pocket of energy fueling it from behind. It's one of those rare alignments where every atmospheric ingredient comes together. Deep cold, dynamic lift. Just enough moisture to spark that classic early season cocktail of surprises. Starting at the top, here's our water vapor satellite view. My favorite way to track the jet stream's motion and upper level energy. Notice that swirling mass up near Hudson Bay? A true Arctic vortex, spinning like a frozen engine ready to roar south. It's on the move. As it descends, it's pulling smaller waves of energy along with it, one sweeping through the northeast, another cutting across the Midwest, each rotating around that main Arctic core like spokes on a wheel. The first wave drags the cold air southward. The second, that's the snowmaker, already triggering flakes across the northern plains and upper Midwest tonight. By the way, if you'd like a personal forecast for your region or city, drop it in the comments. I'll respond individually as time allows. And if you're enjoying the update, don't forget to like the video and subscribe. It really helps the channel grow. Now, if you're tuning in from Iowa or the Dakotas, let me know what you're seeing out your window. Rain, snow, maybe a messy mix. Ground reports like yours are gold. They reveal how the atmosphere is actually behaving compared to what the models predict. Zooming down to the surface, can already see that upper energy translating into real snow on radar. There's a solid band cutting through Iowa right now, rain near Des Moines, snow toward Spencer and Sioux City. The northern half of the state is flipping first. That's our appetizer system. But behind it comes the heavy hitter, a deeper Arctic air mass ready to surge south. It's triggering days of snow and lake effect fury. Now here's where things get really interesting. Take a look at this 500 millibar anomaly chart, or as I call it, the snow miser versus heat miser map. The cool blues and purples represent Arctic air, while the reds and oranges highlight warmth. Watch how that massive cold pool near Hudson Bay doesn't just slide south, it crashes south. It becomes a bowling ball trough rolling straight through the eastern half of the country. And once that happens, boom, we've got lift, instability, and widespread snow potential all the way down into the southern Appalachians. Next up, check out the vorticity map. It measures spin and energy in the atmosphere. Look at what happens by Monday afternoon. See all that bright coloring over the Carolinas? That's a surge of rotation diving from the Great Lakes through the Tennessee Valley and into the Appalachians. And when that much spin interacts with that much cold, the atmosphere starts lifting, squeezing out snow even in places that rarely see it this early now. I'm not saying Charlotte's turning into a snow globe, but don't rule out a few flakes in some unexpected spots. We could easily see light snow showers or flurries sneaking out of the mountains into the Piedmont, maybe even brushing parts of the Carolinas or Virginia. It's rare, but with this setup, it's definitely on the table. Finally, let's zoom in using the high-resolution short-range model, the HRRR. It's already locking onto the system with impressive accuracy. It shows snow rapidly, spreading across Iowa and into the upper Midwest tonight. Early on, much of Illinois and Indiana will see rain, but by late evening, that Arctic air deepens. It's forcing the snow line to slide farther south. Overnight, northern Indiana and southern Michigan could be in for a serious pounding wet. Heavy snow? The kind that clings to trees, power lines, and rooftops by Sunday morning. That snowband drifts eastward, blanketing northern Indiana and possibly reaching northwest Ohio and Detroit by daybreak. As the day unfolds, it lifts north toward the U.S.-Canadian border. pushing through Michigan into Ontario and Quebec, an impressive early-season storm by any standard. But while that's unfolding, the real lake effect engine starts to roar to life. Those northwest flow bands are about to ignite over Michigan, Indiana, and Ohio, dumping relentless snow wherever they anchor. Wouldn't be surprised to see localized totals surpassing a foot. Exact placement will wobble, as it always does. But someone's getting buried by late Sunday into Monday, then overnight Sunday into Monday. A secondary low may spin up near Lake Michigan, possibly close to Chicago or Gary, Indiana. With lake waters still warm for this time of year, that frigid Arctic blast sweeping across them acts like tossing gasoline on a fire. The result? Explosive snowfall rates. That heavy snow band could easily stretch southward through Indiana and into Ohio. By Monday morning, residents in parts of Ohio, Indiana, and even northern Kentucky might awaken to snow on the ground, yes, this early in November. And as that biting northwest flow collides with the Appalachians, the snow machine cranks up for West Virginia, the Smokies. In the high country of North Carolina, ski resorts like Snowshoe and Beach Mountain are going to be thrilled. Some may receive an early season dump of a foot or more, right on cue for Veterans Day week. Now, take a look at the jet stream during this setup. It's dramatic. A deep, plunging trough dominates the eastern half of the country, while a massive ridge builds across the west. It's as if the atmosphere is performing a seesaw act. Extreme warmth on one side, brutal cold on the other. And this cold, it's no joke. We're talking record-challenging lows. Frost and freeze alerts could stretch as far south as Alabama and northern Georgia. Some models even suggest that Tampa, Florida, could flirt with all-time November cold records. And when Lake Eef snow starts firing on all cylinders, that's when you know winter means business. Those legendary snow bands will likely target Buffalo, Erie, and Northeast Ohio, the classic snowbelt zones lighting up early this year. By midweek, around the 12th, the pattern finally eases. The trough loses a bit of strength, temperatures moderate slightly, and the deep freeze relaxes. The east stays cooler than normal, but will inch closer to seasonal levels again. Don't get too comfortable, though. Right on cue, the West Coast steps up with a brand new storm train. Around the 13th and 14th, a powerful Pacific system slams into California and the Pacific Northwest, unloading heavy mountain snow across the Sierra Nevada and Cascades before spreading into the Rockies. That marks the start of a very active stretch out west. Even as the central and eastern U.S. recover from their early season chill, here's where things get fascinating as that western trough digs in. Warmth begins rebuilding across the heartland and east once again. The atmosphere seems determined to keep this pendulum swinging cold east, warm west, then warm east, cold west. Meteorologists call this a progressive pattern, systems racing west to east. Bring in quick temperature flips, sharp frontal passages, plenty of storm opportunities along the way as we move toward the third week of November. Another potential round of rain and thunderstorms could erupt across the central U.S., especially over the southern plains and the lower Mississippi Valley. That setup bears watching closely. This could be the next stage for severe weather potential. Looking at precipitation anomalies, a wet and dry balance tells a varied story. The West Coast looks fantastic with ample moisture. The Midwest and Ohio Valley run moderately wet, while the far southeast stays unusually dry. Up north, parts of the Dakotas, Minnesota, and Wisconsin trend on the drier side too. Even as passing systems keep most regions active. If you'd like a personalized forecast for your city or region, drop a comment below. I'll respond individually as time allows. Thank you guys. See you next video.